Okay, go for it.
We need to start with Chris's Lego build.
Oh my gosh.
How big is it?
Dude, here, hold on.
Don't drop it.
No.
Would it be on video?
Oh, it is pretty big. Like,
huge.
the size of a keyboard, maybe, you know, like.
Yep, it's bigger, probably the size of a full keyboard.
Jeez.
I'm
That's
gonna
awesome.
say something, and I don't. It's.
Do you
I don't
not know
want it to
what this
hurt
is
your
from?
feelings. Do what? No. I do.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, like, the outside looks very simple, but I know there were like 20 bags. So
Yes.
are there like details inside, or
There's details inside.
chunky?
Like, all right, so see these things here?
Yeah.
These like silver things. Those are individual silver rods that had to be routed
Oh wow.
through it. Some details, like if you look at the
Oh yeah, that's cool.
wiring and stuff.
The wiring and stuff, that
That's
took
really
a
cool.
really long time to figure out. And then there's a lot of intricacies inside, like on the bottom, see these black areas?
Uh-huh.
That's so that when it sits on the stand, it holds correctly.
Nice.
And it doesn't like balance. So there's a crap ton of layers, and the intricacy in the engines just to get them there was a lot of work. So basically, while my LLMs were doing their thing, I'm like, okay, I'll work on a bag.
Good for you.
Man, that's the thing about Lego is like they always impress me with details that are there that don't have to be. Like every character that you build, like every blockhead and stuff, has like a pink brain inside of it, which like nobody would ever know, but there's a piece in their head that's always pink.
That's cool. Did you guys ever watch Lego Masters?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite.
My family was watching that. It's like Dancing with the Stars, Lego Masters, and Is It Cake are the ones that we like to watch.
I need to get my kids on Dancing with the Stars. They've been all over Is It Cake, and they will watch rerun after rerun. But yeah, we do like Lego Master. I haven't seen the new one with the new host. I don't remember who's the new person.
Wait, there's a new Lego Master host?
Yeah, Will Arnett had some kind of scheduling conflict. I don't remember what he was recording. Yeah, but somebody else is doing this season. And I don't know if he's like done or he's just done for the season or taking a season off. Yeah.
I mean, he was a natural fit as far as his role in the Lego movies, but like Will Arnett, I don't know. He's out there.
He was, but there was, I think some of the gimmicky stuff would bother Henry, but for whatever reason, because it was him, I found it endearing. It was like if it was anybody else, I would have thought the same thing.
And I think that's it for me. I'm like, I don't love the gimmicky stuff, and I know it comes because of Will Arnett, and so I would replace it with somebody else. Because like these actual Lego designer people, I'm sure are very like maybe a little eccentric, because of like such a cool interest, but at the same time, they have to be very like focused and you know.
Well, and what gets me about this show is Amy and Jamie, the couple from Lego, is towards the end, especially when they have to start letting people go, how emotional they get. I find that so endearing versus like Simon, who's just like, yeah, go on your way. You know?
Yeah.
Like I love how sweet they are, and I don't know, they just seem like they want the best for people. Well, we can start. I have my picks and plugs ready to go this week, by the way. I'm very proud. I have like a list.
That's awesome. I don't even think I have anything this week.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the intro and we'll get going. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Compressed FM, a podcast all about web design and development with a little bit of zest. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about solo term orchestrations and teaching agents to share. What does that look like? And a package manager.
Web development and design, who would have guessed? Well, we can do them both, even add a little zest. So turn up the volume, get ready for the best. Let's get it started in this episode of Compress.
Hello, my name is Amy Dutton. I am a senior design engineer at Cloudflare.
Hey y'all, my name is Brad Garapi. I'm a senior front-end developer at Cloudflare.
What's up, everyone? My name is Chris Nowicki, and I'm a developer experience engineer at Commerce.
Awesome. I realized when I did the intro that I said a package manager. It is really a agent package manager. That the A is not just an article when you say APM.
That is true.
Agent. Oh, hilarious. Okay, so I thought this would be fun to talk a little bit about Solo. Solo is a terminal wrapper for working with your agents. It's kind of supposed to be like the tool. It's built by Aaron Francis. And I have wanted to like Solo for a long time. I just feel like I should like it. I want to like it. I want to support Aaron, but it just didn't quite click. And this week I finally just pulled the trigger and purchased a pro license for it. And I definitely think that it's getting there in terms of clicking. There's a few things that I set up that I'm like, okay, this is nice. This is where it's at. And for me, the biggest aha moment was when I started forcing it or asking it to use the MCP server stuff that it has built in, because it has a scratch pad, it has to-dos. And so you can have, say, Claude create a plan and then have Codex review the plan and then send it back to Claude and say, okay, orchestrate this. Just go ahead and spawn some sub agents. There's timers built in. Go ahead and check on the process as you're working and just let it go. And it's so cool in the UI just to see it spin up 10 different sub agents. They're all working together. It's orchestrating the whole thing. And it's kind of like, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is what I've wanted.
I'm curious, what is Scratchpad? I know out of all those things, I'm like, oh, something goes to a Scratchpad. What's a Scratchpad?
Yeah, so it's just like a notepad. So you can just have it say, but it basically gives it a collective place. So the only kind of rub that I've had, and you can still use all the MCP stuff. So I created a skill to kind of tweak the workflow to the way that I wanted, was I've been dumping all of my tasks within Linear. And the reason that I still like Linear is it's a little bit easier to sort and filter and find what you're looking for. Just the user experience within Linear is just so well thought out.
Awesome.
Yes. And I love the graph. I love seeing, okay, what is my burn chart? How am I doing? But you can also, to me, this is one thing that Solo is not there yet, is I want to be able to put images and screenshots associated with those tasks. And you can't attach a screenshot yet within Solo. But basically when you create a plan, so like right before this call, I had a plan and and it had, hey, here's a few issues. I said, go ahead and save that to a scratch pad so I can deal with it later. So I didn't necessarily have to copy and paste it to a text document to be able to come back and look at it later. It has something built in. So I created a skill that would kind of tie things together and try and keep Linear in sync with Solo. It's not keeping all the tasks in sync, but it's just like keeping the working things that I want in sync. So it can kind of talk back and forth. So I've been really pleased with that. And it's nice to be able to say, kick off an agent run and then go over to Linear and just start refining my backlog there and providing more information. So Brad, I think this is kind of similar to what you've been doing at work, except you're just refining Jira and trying to put all that information in Jira before you hand it a task just to go hog wild on.
Yeah, exactly. And like basically the more you can get Jira to be the source of truth, every decision you make, every bit of description, every linked PRD, whatever, it can do like a really, really good job of like a discovery on that ticket and implementing it. But like what it doesn't really do yet is determine like for a set of tickets, if ticket A is a dependency of ticket B, and like really like orchestrating a whole epic, let's say. One of the things that you said early on in this discussion that really piqued my interest was the idea of having two agents talk back and forth through like the persistent scratch pad. Right? We've had a lot of these tools that are like, here's a common memory layer for agents, but most of the time that's just like session over session, and it wasn't exactly applied with like two different harnesses using the same bit of memory. Do you find a lot of value in that like back and forth checking with each other?
It depends on what it is. I feel like, and this is kind of what I mean. Early on when Aaron first released Counselors. So Counselors is kind of a similar concept. It'll spin up a bunch of different kind of sessions for you and use it. It's an NPM package that will run that.
That was about comparing outputs. Like the same prompt goes to many different agents, and you get to look and compare the outputs.
It's not just it's not really comparing. I'd say the output. So let me give you an example. As I had built an auth system with a React router, and I had built it. I think I just had vibe coded it using Claude. And so I told Codex, I think I used Counselors, said, hey, here's my auth system. Go see what you can find. And this was a few months ago. And Claude found a few things that it had missed. Codex found even more. And then I think Jim and I maybe had just kind of reiterated or like, yeah, that's something else. But the fact that they were all three able to go in and do research. So on another project, I kind of did the same thing, but I knew that there were a few holes, and I asked it to go in and review the auth, especially considering all the security stuff that's happened this past week. And both Codex and Claude found the exact same thing. So it'll be interesting to see how the models evolve, if that kind of dual model to model conversation is still important moving forward. If the models are just getting better,
right?
Are they giving you the same thing? And it's just really a matter of what you want to talk about. But I know for me, at least, it kind of has that peace of mind, sanity check. Okay, Claude and Codex both checked this. I feel a little bit better about it. And you can do that, by the way. So Solo does support open code, which is what we use at work. And so you can have a thing of open code running Claude and then have another window running Codex and get the exact same workflow through open code versus just your native Claude code and Codex.
That's crazy.
I do the same thing on side projects where like I author my code with one model and then I give it to another model to review in the pull request process. So I feel like there's two sets of eyes on it. And very often like Copilot, which is what I use for like the review stuff, will find legitimate issues, although it ain't the greatest model for code review. Like there's a lot of junk in there too, where I'm just like, you're being incredibly pedantic, or like, you can really feel how outdated it is, where like it'll tell you this software version doesn't exist. It's like, yes, it does. I installed it from NPM. Like you just haven't been trained on this yet.
I think Kimi is still the worst.
Really?
I have wanted to like Kimi mainly because Cursor
it's free and quick, right?
Yeah, well, and Cursor uses Kimi as their base model for Composer.
Oh, wow.
And it actually came out. There was a little bit of drama around it because when they released Composer 2, they didn't attribute Kimi.
I remember that.
Yeah, Lee made a post on Twitter. Yeah. And they're like, no, we did do it. We are doing our license. We're following our license thing. But so they're using Kimi at the base of it. I don't know how much they've built on top of it, but I really do like Composer. And so I've tried to use Kimi within OpenCode, and it is so verbose. And if you read the output, it's like, are you even on task? Because it'll say, wait, actually.
Yes. Yes. I tried Kimi as well, and it just went, wait, actually, no. You know what? Never mind. I think I should. That's not right either. Wait, but it might be. I was like, what are you doing?
It's a very thinking heavy model, because even in open code, you can still see the thinking prompts for Kimi. And I think what it's attempting to do is like vocalize every thought that goes through its head. When you're discovering code and stuff, like obviously it's going to point you in a million different directions. You can't just act like this is the answer, but wait, like, why don't you read all the files and then come to a conclusion?
It just does not instill confidence, even if the other models are doing the same thing. I took a screenshot of this the other day. It said, actually, let me get back on task to the task that you asked me to do. And I was like, what are you doing? What were you doing?
Burning tokens, baby.
I know, right?
Yeah, I've found the same thing with Opus 4.7, that it's pretty verbose, and I find myself like skimming output because of that. Like you'll ask it to do something, it'll bring up like 5 points, and then it'll get to the end and ask you like kind of unrelated questions. You're like, I know there's information in that output that just came out, but there's so much of it that I can't go back and read it all. I still think, man, what was it? 4 or 5 was like the one. Like it was super to the point. Like, and if it got something wrong, you could tell it to go back and revisit, and it would do a really good job. Like just knowing what the previous decision was and knowing what you were getting at, and like finding that difference and presenting you with a reasoned solution. It just felt really good. And it sometimes it would have failed with confidence, but at the same time, like if you're smart enough, you can just be like, no, that's not right. And then it will go fix itself. Instead of these newer models that are so like wishy-washy and thinky and word vomity.
I'm still locked in on Sonnet 4.6. I'm just like, this is my model. I might reach for Opus and have it write a plan, but then I'll have Sonnet execute.
That's what
I don't use Sonnet. What's the differences? What do you see?
It's lower cost.
Sonnet's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper and a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I've heard it was slightly less good at, like, let's say complex code bases or large code bases or something like that.
Yeah, it might be, but sorry, Chris, but if you get Opus to go ahead and write your plan, get it to think through everything, it writes through the plan, you're solid, and then you just hand it over to Sonnet and it can execute, and it just
that's what I did with my orchestrator for our doc site at Commerce. Is our orchestrator does all the thinking and the planning and then calls the sub agents, and each sub agent is all operating on Sonnet. Rather than going, I mean, I could go all YOLO on 4.7, but also is it really needed, especially for some of those just mundane tasks? I don't need 4.7 to create a commit for me or a PR.
Yeah, exactly.
Do y'all think orchestrators are old news? I remember when I built the one for the dashboard code base, and now it's getting like spread across the company. It was like, in my head, I was like, oh man, I'm on the cutting edge. Now, like, what is it, like 2 months later? It's old news. Everybody has an orchestrator.
Well, here's the other thing that I'm finding is a lot of it too depends on what your circle is. Like, I feel like an orchestrator is necessary. I feel like you have to have it. I don't think it's old news, but I think depending on where your circle is, you may or may not have that running. So like prime example is, so this is covered in an NDA. I can't talk about it publicly, but I did some work for a Frontier company the tail end of last year. And we were doing a lot of work, obviously, in AI. And then I come to Cloudflare, and I feel like I took a step back, like 2 months. And it wasn't that Cloudflare was behind. It was just that they were like literally coding the future. And so by the time we got to February, I felt like, oh, you guys are now experiencing all the things that we designed and all the things that we built. And I think some of that was just perspective. So being even in Twitter and trying to be more lurky, I guess, because I haven't posted anything in a while, but you get a different view of news. And this is what you've been saying for years, Brad, is that Twitter tech or tech Twitter, whatever, is different than enterprise big company tech. And some of it is just like the state of things, the way that it is. But
yeah, I think
it's important.
The larger the code base and the more conventions and like knowledge that's been stuffed in there over time, the more important these orchestrators are. Like you have to be specific about how you commit and how you make pull requests and how you review and what tests you run, and like all of that needs to be defined. And I just think like the bigger projects get, the better it is to be handheld through it all. And it's like easier for first time contributors too, right? Like you're helping people get through the process.
Do you guys do a lot of like spit this out into a decision doc for me?
I've done that. I've had it give me docs. So if I'm doing something where I need to, sync with my manager or cross team leads or whatever, I have to do the findings. Recently, I just did an API spec audit, and it created a PowerPoint that I uploaded to Google Sheet. So it kind of imported it in and iterated on that for a little bit, and then gave it to my boss, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I have been having to do some of that stuff. It's been helpful.
I only do like spit out to Markdown if it's on like a personal project where I'm not managing work through Jira. at work at Cloudflare, like everything is a Jira ticket, so it's really easy to stuff all the context there. But like on these personal projects, I'm like, I build me this finance app, right, that I'm trying to do, and I have like this 2-hour planning session where I'm continually writing to a markdown document or updating it to where like that's the artifact I'm working towards. And when that's ready, I'll make the repo. That's the first commit to the repo. And then you can start say, okay, agents start going off on this.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that is a good point too. If it's a project at work, I wouldn't want to stuff a bunch of markdown files in a public repo.
Right.
No.
Somebody else's.
Oh, well, public. Yeah. But now I have seen people do this even in our internal repos. It's like they would like make a plan directory and they would like write markdown files there. And I'm like, no. That's an artifact of the work that does not need to be version controlled.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, what do you do in bad? What do you do in your planning session? Because I've never done a full like 2-hour planning session. I've always just done more chunks, like smaller chunks of work.
Well, like that one planning session I had to do, it was because I was kind of going into territory I didn't know when it came to all this Yodo stuff. So I was like, I need to understand their API structure. I need to know how to interact with it. How do I auth with it? What else did I do? Like, oh, I need to do all this like FFmpeg and like YouTube download stuff. Like, where do I run that? I don't want like a VPS. I want something in Cloudflare that was ephemeral. And so like I was making all of these architecture decisions, doing this API investigation, and it took a long time. And it wasn't just like, just guess. It was like, well, like, let's actually try this out, see if it's a good decision.
Okay.
And then we'll write it down in this doc.
Yeah. Interesting.
And now with this finance stuff, like I'm going to try to like, you try the Plaid API, you try like Puppeteer or Playwright for scraping. You think about like, is a durable object the right place for this? Because I want my data to be for me. And if you want to use the same app, you get your own SQLite instance, your own durable object keyed by your username. Like technically that's possible. Or I could just lock the whole thing down and say, I'm going to purpose build this for me and I'm the only one who has access, right? Like all these types of decisions that you have to make up front. That's what I use these large planning sessions for.
Yeah. One workflow that Matt Pocock has been talking about more on Twitter is he has a prototype skill where he will go back and forth with AI, have AI create a prototype. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's the workflow that we want. Now go ahead and like summarize all of this, get all the pieces, and then he'll go finalize it. But he
like fake data, like just build out this kind of shitty HTML wireframe.
So, and I think it's like not, I mean, I haven't like dug in and watched his videos to know if he's done anything like that, but I just imagine it's as if like a designer would come in and say like, here's how I want the flow to work. Here's my wireframe. Here's click through. Yes, this is exactly what I want. Now go in and build this.
My brain is slowly turning around to this whole like engineers should be designers. And I think here's now how I think about this. At first I was like, I can't design shit. I don't know what you're talking about. But what I really think it comes down to is if you can get that clicky workflow right, and you can do that with the worst HTML in the world, right? You can do that with like shitty HTML, like unstyled HTML, just to see like, does this feel right? And then people go, oh, I get what you're putting out into this world. And so what were we saying like earlier is like the medium of communication is no longer like a Figma file. Just carve out an area of the dashboard, throw away the components, build plain HTML, make these links work. And then you can put that preview build up and somebody can go, well, let's iterate here because it's really fast. Then, build it into a higher fidelity thing. And there was a tweet about this the other day, right? The idea of how we build now isn't like, how is it? Somebody was like slicing a pyramid and you build the base and then you build up the pyramid. That is not how you build with AI. And that's how I've been building is like build the foundational bits. I'm going to like make sure that's perfect and then move on to the next layer. No, Dax had this tweet that was like, it was a very grainy, fuzzy image. And then it slowly got sharper with every iteration. And I was like, this way of thinking that I just said is like exactly that. You like start with plain HTML, get the flow right, and then like build up from there. And I'm like starting to come around to this whole thing. And I really want to try to communicate that way at work with
Mhm.
any like future UI changes that have to be made.
Yeah. Well, and I've found myself going into this like very it's called waterfall workflow where, and I'm like, is this just me? Is this because this is the way I think? Is it because I'm more design focused where I've been trying to like nail it down the front end? But I think it's kind of like exactly what you're describing. And this was my thought process in going that direction is like, if I can nail down that front end piece and get everything looking the way that I want, almost like a high fidelity prototype, then I just feel like I can let AI run on it because it's a lot easier for me to point at it and say like, hey, just set up the CRUD operations. Here's all the pieces, all the front end stuff that you need. Just connect all the back end stuff. And to me, that's the part that is easier to plan for than like the front end stuff requires a lot more back and forth. This isn't exactly what I wanted. Shift this over, do this. Whereas the back end, to me, it's a little bit more, I don't know if deterministic, but it's just a little bit more logic. It's a little bit more maybe obvious of how that should work than the front end side of it.
And it's all testable too, right? Like that's the beauty there.
Yeah, for sure. But so like I was kind of going that direction and I started talking to AI about some of these pieces that I wanted to build. And it was challenging me, right or wrong, to think more in vertical slices. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And I get some of that because it's like, if you can go ahead and set some of the foundational layer that you're talking about as you build, then you can actually kind of, instead of waiting till the very end to do all the back end, you do a little bit of the front end, kind of set a few of those layers. And that's kind of maybe the building up that you're talking about. I'm not sure if there's a right or wrong way to do that, but just a different way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think if you kind of to come full circle and put a little bow on the conversation with Solo Term, that was kind of the unlock for me is when you start looking at it, not just as a terminal wrapper, but really as a meta harness, which is what Aaron's trying to coin is like, I'm going to have it.
A harness of harnesses.
Yeah. I'm going to have it like launch all the agents, go in between everything for me.
Right.
And to me, that's the tool that you can't just get opening a bunch of, say, tabs and ghosty.
I still view it as such a utilitarian tool, though, because what I like it's the process management. It's these processes are grouped together. Your agent harness, your dev server, your local database, whatever. Like they all have startup scripts and restart scripts and what happens when they die, right? And so anytime I work on this project, I need these things. That's still like the base set of value that Solo brings in my mind. Yes, it can do a hell of a lot more, but like that's the draw is you don't have to have 50 terminal tabs open. It's still a bunch of tabs in a UI, don't get me wrong, but like they're grouped and they have a little bit of control around them.
Yeah. Well, and I think some of it too depends on how you work because he hasn't quite dialed in work trees yet. And so I'm curious because I've been listening to Mostly Technical to see, okay, am I going to get any preview or what are the things that he's working on this week? For those listening, Mostly Technical is his podcast that he does with Ian Landsman. But he apparently has this brilliant API primitive or whatever that he is putting together for work trees that'll apparently be really flexible depending on how you want to set that up on your end. So I'm really curious to see what that ends up looking like.
Did you see the new open code features that they've been talking about?
No.
/warp is a new command. It's going to be a new base command that they have. It basically will take your session and you can move it anywhere. You can move it to like a different work tree. You could like just move it around. And so that's
cool.
Really beautiful. And that's kind of one of the things that you could do, like move it between, I would say this, like instances. I think they're going to connect that to like how you can run open code in different places.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I will say one thing about open code is it has the best TUI than any other like better, far better than Claude or Codex or any of that. It's just so beautiful to look at.
Yeah, and they're getting there in like developer experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm messaging Jordan back.
Oh.
Okay. Do you okay, so this is interesting. As you start talking about all the different pieces that you need with for like agentic development, skills has been a big thing. Actually, this is a good PSA too. If you pay attention and you're using Claude Code, in our case for personal projects, they have a 1% limit in what skills they will load. And so Claude Code will automatically disable certain skills if you're not using them a lot. So the thing is to go to /skills and see if your skills are still being enabled. And the other thing is you can go within your preference files within your config and say, change the limit that you use within my context or within my section.
Like 0.2 or something?
Yeah, from 1% to 2%. So when I did that,
what does that percent indicate? Percent of what?
The percentage of your context that it has. So it's limited to only load in 1% of your context using skills. It's trying to like limit how many skills, because there were people that were like, you think you have the best workflow here, but all your skills are getting disabled. Or it was having situations where it's like, I have a skill that does this, and you just decided to, wander off into the forest. And it was like, no, your skill actually was disabled. And it will tell you at the beginning of your session that, hey, we disabled some of your skills. But most people don't read all the things at the top, because sometimes it's like, here's a tip. You're like, I don't need to know the tip, or, I just want to get on with my prompt. But it will say at the top what the preference is that is disabling it, what you should do, that kind of thing. But that was one thing that I went and updated in my config.
All of mine are on.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So you're good. But the point is, skills are, I think, still important, still valid. And Brad has been working on an agentic package manager.
Yeah, talk about that. I think this is super cool.
Yeah, like there was just so much talk at work about skills. And everybody's like handing around these markdown files. And I built that conductor agentic orchestrator thing. And I needed a way to spread that around. And so basically the idea is like, how do we get every bit of open code config, agents, skills, commands, and kind of plugins, but I haven't really addressed that, distributed around the company, or just like generally. And Vercel kind of has a tool for this, skills.sh, and I'm sure everybody's pretty much using it. But like internally, we needed a way to do this that was more rigid than skills.sh. So I built APM, basically the same thing. I started by like ripping off the skills.sh CLI, just like being able to install. But then the idea is like we needed a registry to view, sort, and search every like skill, agent, and command that people have created. So I built the whole thing in the hack month. Got like a UI that is a registry. Got like a whole publish process. It's got a CLI for installation and updating of these packages. And I got 176 packages published on there now.
That's awesome.
Like 7 or 8 or 9 teams are using it now.
Can they contribute to it as well, or do they have to go through you to add it and put it in? So anyone can contribute to it within the company, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And it's all scoped, so you can say
it's all scoped. Yeah. And then soon you'll be able to like install all packages from this scope, or like make a custom bundle of packages, and like there's an install command just for that. So the idea is like a team can really tailor, or an individual can tailor like the things that they want to take from project to project to project, and just use APM install my bundle name, and like, or I'm going to call them packs. APM install pack, my pack, and then you get all the things you care about.
That's really cool.
If you're curious about what the API looks like, you can go to Microsoft.
Okay, so yeah, somebody posted this in chat. They're like, "Oh, I've been enjoying Microsoft's APM," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I made APM. Microsoft has APM, Agent Package Manager, with basically word for word the exact API.
There's a mole.
Basically the exact thing. Hysterical. And it just goes to show you, right? Like I said, agent orchestrators are old news. Everybody has one now. Agent package managers are old news. There's a million of them now. Like there's like 10 of them at work that people have made. And this is just like internal to the company.
Well,
so like
the thing. In 6 months,
everybody is at least we're acknowledging the same problems, right? And all you need is a company to come out there and put it out there, a company people trust, to come out there and put it out there and be like, this is the spec for an agent, a skill, a command, and a plugin.
Oh my gosh, that would be wonderful.
Publish a website and build a registry. Everybody's already done it, but no company I feel like has like really put it out there. Like we have one for skills specifically, which is too narrow. Linked it in the chat there. And one called Open Plugins, which is a spec for kind of everything, but it's like really involved. So instead of just being a markdown file that you share, this Open Plugins thing is like a whole NPM package that can bundle up many things together. So it almost takes the idea of dependencies and just sticks it in a single thing. I'm not sure that we should be using NPM right now for anything. Supply chain attacks, but like
that was what I was going to ask. What do you guys think is the future of open source? Like how is security issues with these things?
Well, it wasn't really NPM's vulnerability. It was like a GitHub Actions vulnerability. Like they were publishing legitimately with a legitimate OIDC token yoinked from GitHub Actions and their shared cache. So yeah, it was really kind of a GitHub issue. But I get NPM, same thing, right? It's all Microsoft. So yeah, basically there's a shared cache in between all your GitHub Actions, and they were able to exploit that to stash like malicious code there and grab the OIDC token, which is used for trusted publishing, and then just steal that token and use it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to this place, especially now as AI is getting smarter, where security is going to become more of a major issue, not just with NPM, but just with, there's people talking about AI just being able to crack passwords really easily, and some of these even stronger compute models and agentic models that are just, I think security researching with AI is going to become a huge thing, if it's not already a big thing. But
that's why Cal.com
done it.
I was going to say Cal.com, like whatever, is no longer open source. They said we can't like afford to be open source and expose our code, because then it just tells people what bugs to come after. Like, so we're just going to make it private, which I'm like, so, like, that really makes me sad.
Yeah, this whole quantum computing thing is really going to screw this up too. But Cloudflare already had a plan for this apparently, and we've been rolling this out like post quantum security. So basically like changing the way we do keys or something so that they can't be brute force. This is way over my head, but good to know that like we're already thinking about it and trying to address it.
And just send everybody a lava lamp, right?
Yeah. That's been our strategy all along, lava lamp.
That would be pretty cool to have like a lava lamp on your desk that's like your passkey.
Ooh.
That would be
and it changes every second or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then what if you get the color fuchsia and you got to type that in? Like if it was based on color, the color.
You have to point a camera at your lava lamp. Like, that's really... Actually, kind of on that note, I don't know if you saw Wes Boss post that he was trying to get his, I don't know if it was Aperture or a different brand for his light setup. It has a Bluetooth config, and the app on his computer was not working and connecting with his light properly. So he just told Sonnet to go after it, pointed his webcam at his light, and was like, just go for it. And it's like,
and I think he used the new like /goal command where it's like, don't stop crunching until you reach the end result. That's right. here's my webcam. Reverse engineer this entire this system because it was I think it was using Python, and don't stop until you're able to toggle it on and off. Look at the webcam to see. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how hacky do you think that code was at the end of the day? I'm glad he could get something working, but then it's okay, do you go and try to maintain that or what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Good question.
Well, that's cool. I'm here. Here's where I'm at on all this, y'all. Agentic package managers, the next CLI UI tool. Man, I'm getting. It's I finally, when I feel like I'm getting caught up, like Brad said, I'm oh, and I'm behind again, and I'm behind. Just as I start to wrap my head around something, and kind of burned out from it. Honestly, I love all of it. There's so much I want to learn and do, and I'm I just don't have the capacity to learn and do all of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's
yeah, it does.
It's I want to try solo, but really for the things that I do, a tab and Ghosty is just fine.
I think the next productivity unlock will really be accept the fate that we don't have to write the code. Right? Yeah. And then if you can truly do that and take your hands off the wheel, and you can then start to parallelize, meaning many solo projects or many remote agents, and you're trusting that process, and you have good guardrails and harnesses that do all these checks and stuff, and you built a system around this autonomous creation of code, then I think that's the next layer. But God, that's going to take a lot to get there, tooling wise. I'm sure somebody could cobble something together today, but it just probably doesn't feel cohesive.
I think we're probably a lot closer, and I would say it's not about writing the code, which I think you'd say that too. It's more about reading the code. Do we have to read the code that it writes?
Yeah, sure.
Because you're saying yeah, we don't have to write code. I'm not sure it's writing code. I think it's more reading code. But I think we're closer, especially when you start talking about that multi-model piece. Because I know people have said, I'll get just Claude to write it, and then I'll get Codex to come in and review it. And then you kind of have a confidence score. And the truth of it is, if you have these models that are exposing bugs, they're going to find the bugs. So just go ahead and have it find the bug preemptively. It might not have been the exact code that you would have written, but that would have been true if you'd hired a junior. A junior probably would not write the exact code that you would have written.
No, that's a good point. But I guess what I'm saying is all these guardrail systems have to be really good. You need, and they should probably be a little deterministic too. You need unit tests. You need really good end-to-end tests. Yeah. You probably need to just test in production as well, and constantly have your product being hit by an agent and driven, by a headless browser, it's a real user, to try to expose stuff. And you need to look at performance and the console logs and the network logs. And if you could just have this constantly happening, and you can ship code and handle regressions as they come, right? It does kind of have to be a self-healing system too, or at least something that files bugs that you feed back into the system to get fixed.
Yeah.
It all comes down to now you're monitoring in production.
I was gonna say, I don't think it does the writing of tests, but I think Sentry does a lot of that stuff. Because it has Warden, which will go in and do all that security AI stuff for you. Seer will go in and try and see or find things. Sounds so vague. But I need to, I don't know, just the way that Wes and Scott on Syntax talk about Sentry. I'm I need to do a deep dive just to see what pieces am I missing on all my personal projects? Can it do all those things that you're talking about?
Yeah, I still just think it does it at a surface level. What's going to tell you, okay, this page is now slow, and now you have to analyze the request waterfall, and then you realize you architected your app poorly. So then the AI has to go in and look at all the data fetching layers and figure out how to consolidate, a waterfall of 8 API calls. How the hell are you going to put up a guardrail or make a system that actually walks that line and does that.
Yeah. I think it'll be there eventually, though.
I think so. And I mean, I'm
Yeah.
based on the freaking rate of improvement right now. 2 years, 3 years. I mean, that we have like real systems that essentially make changes, look for problems, and fix them, and then just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're already starting to see this in a lot of sites like Mentlify and Fern and stuff like that. Like they are doing, when someone submits a page feedback, they're doing automated fixes, automated PRs based on feedback that's giving. It's a self-healing thing. So yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of doc sites are starting to adopt, this methodology of just automated doc improvement based on feedback that is coming in, whether it's a code block feedback or a page feedback. So I think that is a smaller use case because we're talking about documentation. We're not talking about complex app.
Right, but it's layers. The same loop.
Correct.
Right? It's the same loop.
Same
like
loop
feedback comes in, it gets triaged, turned into a code change, and executed on.
We've looked at stuff like that, just growing our own for the Cloudflare docs. So
yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thought, and the question is though, is how accurate is it when it's looking at a change?
Well, and the one thing that we keep talking about with docs is it's kind of interesting. Docs is the thing that trains AI. A lot of times you feed it the docs to say this is how it works. And so it can be difficult sometimes to update the docs when you're saying like, this is a source of truth, but it's not the source of truth if it has to be fixed. So there's a little bit of a catch-22 there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pivot just slightly because I want to talk about this before we run completely out of time. But how about that new Raycast beta?
It's pretty.
I am loving it. I love the new settings. So the new settings is it almost looks like I got confused. I thought it opened up my Apple system settings. And I went through it. I'm like, this is so much easier to navigate.
Tell me you saw the UI bug in settings. I can't unsee it now.
Wait a minute.
No. I feel like my job's on the line.
Come on, go look at it.
Hold on, I'm looking at it right now.
Just type in settings. Right there on that first page, there's a bug. Come on, Amy.
like in the actual initial search bar that comes up? Or like when you go to settings, type in settings.
Yeah, go into settings, hit enter, and right when it lands on settings, there's a visual bug.
I mean, the toggle is not quite centered.
The toggle.
Okay,
it's killing me. I can't look at that toggle anymore.
Oh my gosh.
What are we going to do?
Aligned. It's bottom aligned.
It's not as obvious if, like, I'm in dark mode. It's not as obvious as if it's disabled, but the blue
enabled. It's pretty off. Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Now the big kerfuffle is that they shifted to WebTech for this. So this is like a React app or something, and it's connecting to like there's a Rust core, and it's there's like a Node backend. So it's like React app talking to Node, talking to Rust.
It's super fast.
Yeah, it's all good to me. Like people were like shitting on it for changing to WebTech, but like I don't notice any difference.
Except for the toggle.
Well, you look at that and you go, okay, clearly it's like CSS, you know?
Have you seen that meme where it's like an airplane and people are sitting out past the airplane and it says CSS can kill you?
That's awesome.
It's so funny. The things that I'm most excited about are dictation. So I use Super Whisper right now, or Whisper. What do I use? Super Whisper right now. And which is great. I absolutely love it, but I am paying $15 a month. So another service that Raycast can just slurp up. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And then one feature that I had in Alfred from way back in the day was just being able to navigate all of my files through Raycast, where I can just do everything from the keyboard. I don't even have to use the Finder. So I love just being able to kind of get back in that flow.
I've tried out dictation. I think the biggest problem for me is I use my like side mouse button to kick off recording, and they don't support mouse buttons and keybinds. So that means I have to like hook up something through like Keyboard Maestro or Better Touch Tools or whatever to like try to, or Razer Synapse, their thing to like map it to a key. I don't really love that. I want like a setting or like a different keybind to auto press enter after I dictate what I need to dictate, so that when I talk to AI, like maybe I use shift and my mouse button and it like dictates and hits enter for me. What else? They took away. I gave them that feedback. Okay. Yeah. They took away the minimize command for the window management tool. I use that all the time.
Minimize.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've been using rectangle.
What?
But here's why. Can I explain? Let me explain why. I know what you're going to say.
Raycast has that.
Raycast has that, but in order to get the pro feature where you want to resize a window to 1920, so I have a widescreen.
Yep.
And when I'm doing screencasts for my DevX videos, like I need a window to be 1920 by 1080, right? In order to have that automated feature, I need to pay the $8 a month. Rectangle Pro is a one-time $14 payment for that, and that includes that specific feature. So I went, well, I don't want to pay. But now, with all these additional features that are added in, like you, Amy, I'm sitting here going, do I consolidate my subscriptions and just use all the stuff that's in Rectangle or Raycast? I don't know. I don't know. But I know. I thought at first, in fact, I went back and forth with Claude and with ChatGPT, like, y'all, what do I do here? Like, Raycast has it, but this has it. Here's
my favorite use case.
I'm like, I don't know which one to do. Like, what makes sense here? And it's like, this is a no-brainer. Spend $14 once. Why are you paying? If that's the only thing you're going to use, why pay $8 or $10 a month so you can resize a little window to 1920 by 1080?
Wait, I do love the notes feature.
I have this feature and I don't have Pro, unless like the beta is giving you access to all the Pro stuff. But like I can now make window layouts and stuff.
That's a really funny comment.
Jordan in the chat said spent $30 in tokens to make a $14 decision. Jordan, we need to have you on the show. I'll message you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh man. So do you guys use Bartender? This is not a Raycast thing.
No.
Okay, so I was using Bartender to help consolidate all my icons and manage that in the menu bar. I've used Bartender for years, and it has weird issues with Tahoe. Like, it is bizarre.
Do you know why?
They had to rewrite it.
They were secretly acquired.
Really?
Yes, they were secretly acquired. I don't know by who. But what happened was the transition into Tahoe was under the new whoever bought it, and it was the most god-awful transition with so many bugs that I went to an open source app called Hidden Bar.
Oh, okay. So that was kind of what I was going to ask, but also with Tahoe, you can actually go into settings and just turn a bunch of stuff off. So that's what I did. I just went into settings. I was like, I don't even need an app to do this anymore. That was kind of where I went off on that, is that if Raycast is, collecting all the apps. But yeah, interesting.
But in case you want that native feature, like without all the additional bells and whistles, brew install Hidden Bar.
Okay. Okay, cool. I was looking at one called Ice that people had said, but
I tried to get Ice, and when I went to their website, they were blocked on my company computer. So I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't install that. So Ice is, I would give Ice a try. Like, I think it's fine. A lot of people say Ice is the Bartender equivalent.
The panels and the screenshots look the same.
Yeah, like you can have the bar. Like, what I miss about Bartender is when I click on the button, I want everything to show just below the menu bar.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm on my laptop with the notch. I need, sometimes it extends and the notch hides whatever goes past. So that's the only thing that I miss. I do have a version. I have the latest version license. I don't know. Maybe it's Stabler now.
Yeah. No, it's not. Because I was having issues, and like it was my mouse, like wouldn't show proper hover states in my desktop. And so I finally was like, or it's like sometimes my mouse would just jump over and I'm like, what just happened? Or just disappear together. And so I just disabled Bartender this morning and I was like, oh, everything works again. So very strange.
That is valid though. I mean, like being able to go in, I don't ever go into my hidden icons ever.
Yeah. So just hide them all.
Huh.
Okay, so I know I'm jumping around just a little bit, but I'll throw this out here too. Do you guys use AI within Raycast?
No.
Really either.
No. The reason being is I like to keep the I don't know if you keep context in the desktop app, but it's like that. I mean, you can go into I can go into Claude and say, hey, tell me what you know about me. Like, give me a summary of who I am. Like, and it can, because it has all that information. I think for quick searches, I think it's nice. Like quick searches. Right.
It's like your Google replacement. I just need to get a quick answer.
Like my perplexity,
which therefore means it's not that useful. Like,
correct.
Right. Well, okay, and here's the other crazy part is I've been trying to get off of Arc and go over to Dia. And that's been interesting. And I bring that up because its default is like an AI search. It doesn't always give you Google immediately. And so that's been a little frustrating.
With vertical tabs.
Do what?
Why not back to Chrome and then just enable vertical tabs? They got it now.
Yeah, they do have it. So I use that on work. So one thing that I'm not crazy about is that when you collapse the sidebar, it gives you a list of all your icons that are in the tabs. And I would rather it just disappear. And then when I go over to the left, just show me everything. Because you can't have like a true minimalization or whatever. But so there's just like a few things that are a little clunky. But I still keep coming back to Arc. And a big thing is just spaces. I have groups of views that I like. And you don't really have that.
I've been on Dia, but I've been wanting to go back to Arc because I just like it without the address bar on top. And also in Dia, like if I'm doing a screen recording, it has in the upper right-hand corner my extensions and the little chat button, and you can't disable that chat button. And so it just shows up in my recordings, and then I have to go to like Helium to record something. So I don't know. I might go back to Arc.
All the things.
Wait, which in Chrome or in Dia?
In Dia.
Oh, because it's so funny. You mentioned that chat in the top right, and Chrome has it. Ask Gemini. And turns out you can just turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
I just went over there and unpinned it, and I was like, "Oh, that's sick."
Yeah, but in Dia, I haven't found a setting yet where you can go in and turn off that chat button and just use the keyboard shortcut.
Firefox has gotten good, by the way. If you can get used to their dev tools being different, it basically has almost all the features that I would want in Arc and Firefox, except for workspaces.
Wait, Firefox now has vertical.
And it gives you the Command S. That was the other thing. Chrome, when you want to toggle the sidebar, you can't hit Command S to toggle it on and off. I had to do some weird thing on my personal computer using Keyboard Maestro to get that to work.
Yeah, too much. I'm trying to minimize the amount of apps and plugins and things to do my life, but yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up, we need to do picks and plugs. Okay. I know we've kind of rambled the last little bit, but we need to pick some plugs because I have a list. So the picks and plugs is for things that we pick, like Amazon orders or whatever. And then something that we plug is generally something that we've worked on. So I will go first because I was prepared this week and I have multiple picks. So I'm just going to let that be my plug as well. So I just bought a couple of new board games and it's fantastic. I'm like, more board games than life, no screens, just everybody sitting around the table playing a game together. It's so good. So we got Lost Island, which is a fun game. You have like a set of cards. The whole premise of it is that the island is sinking. And so you've got to recover these relics and then get to the launch pad, the helicopter pad, and leave the island.
I've played this. We went to a board game bar where you sit down at a table and everybody, you get drinks and people come and suggest games to you. That was the game. And it was awesome.
Yeah. So fun. And it's a cooperative game. So if you have competitive people in your family that sometimes that creates conflicts, this is a perfect board game because you're all on the same team. Yeah. And it's just fun kind of being able to talk like logic and strategy with everybody, all that. So
that one blew my mind because like I couldn't even fathom what a co-op board game would be.
Oh, yeah.
And it just was perfect. Everybody had kind of their own special power and their role, but you all have to meet up. Yeah, it was and it was like short and pretty easy like to understand.
It reminds me of the game Pandemic.
Well, and the comments on Reddit did say that. Like, good job changing the theme. but Pandemic is a little too close to home since COVID. I can't do things like that. And was it the hantavirus? We can't talk about those things.
Funny story.
Lost Island is far better.
I won't go long. This is really quick. I bought the game Pandemic December of 2019.
No.
I started playing with my friends, and then what happened? And I went,
you did it. It's your fault. Don't ever play that again. It's like Jumanji. You released it. Oh man. This one was not on here, so I'm gonna use up my picks and plugs from the next few weeks. We also got Carcassonne. I think I said that right.
Yes, that game is
it's an old game.
It's old.
Like, and by old, like
it's just a
I need to ask you, do you have any of the expansion packs?
No.
Okay.
But there's
and I have any expansion. Yeah, there's tons and tons of expansion packs.
Mm-hmm.
So with this game, and just for context, my youngest is an 8-year-old, and she's the one that I've been playing with multiple times. She's the one that's bought in the most to my new board game fascination. But with Carcassonne, you're basically creating a puzzle, but then you put your pieces on the puzzle as you build it, and you get points based on where your pieces are and the things that you build. So every game is completely different because you're just building a different puzzle. And then with the expansion packs, it'll bring in different features and that kind of thing. Like one of the apparently a polarizing expansion pack is called like Princesses and Dragons, where you literally, I say literally, you're not actually, but you have a dragon that roams the board and eats some of your people. And some people are like, we hate that because it totally.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
Like, that sounds fun. So
sounds great.
Okay, so the other two things we talked about solo, I will pick that. And Aaron and Ian both have a new podcast called Token Town that released just this week. So listen to the first episode today. Brad and Chris, who wants to go next?
Look, I'm glad you came prepared because I got nothing. So Chris,
I'll go. I'll give you a second. All right, my pick is Luke Skywalker Lego speeder thingy. Lego set. This was not cheap. It was not cheap. It was my main birthday present. So that was probably one of the most fun builds outside of the Millennium Falcon that I've done. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So that was cool. And then I am going to working on. I'm trying to think real quick. You know what? I got nothing.
That's all right. I had enough for all of us.
Okay, really quick. We watched 2 movies recently. One I thought was just okay. One I thought was pretty good. One, Send Help with Rachel McAdams. She gets like
so good.
Stranded on island. Really? I thought it was like
I've heard
because it had its kooky moments. You didn't know if it was supposed to be taken very seriously or kind of like lighthearted and funny. So it's kind of like juxtaposes itself. So I didn't give it a great rating. I was like maybe 2.5, 3 out of 5. Thought it was okay. But my wife and I watched Housemaid and we thought that was really good.
Oh, I read that book.
Yeah, it was good. It kind of.
There's a part though that I'm like, I don't want you to give it away. But like reading the book, I'm like, some of that stuff is hard to read. So, I can't imagine watching it.
Yeah, it gets tense for sure.
Yeah, no, I think I'll. We just watched Project Hail Mary. We went to the theaters and saw.
Any good?
It was
you didn't
so
see it
good.
in IMAX, did you? I've heard you have to see it in IMAX.
I did not, but now I wish I would have. I didn't even know it was available on IMAX. In fact, I don't even know where an IMAX theater would be around me, to be honest with you. but it was great. It's not, you can now rent it. It's on Apple Movies.
Oh,
You can rent it
good.
for $19.99 or buy it for $24, which means why not just buy it at this point?
Yeah.
Because I think we spent $70 on tickets for everyone to go.
You know, it's insane.
It's nuts.
Well,
But
and
it's
if you
really
do that,
good.
do concessions. Concessions are just
Pretty
as
much.
yeah.
Pretty much. But it's really good. It's slow moving, but man, it ends in such a happy note, and it's great. It's a family friendly movie for sure.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's
What's
a
it
few.
rated?
I've heard Henry took Isaac, and he said that the girls might not like it because there's a few parts that are pretty intense.
There is a scene where you do see a little Ryan Gosling booty. Okay. So if you need to shield eyes, I had to over my wife's eyes. I'm like, no, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, I guess I should give the warning about Housemaid in that regard too.
Oh yeah, everyone's talked about that.
Not for kids.
No.
Oh, so fun. Well, another good episode in the books. If you are listening in your podcatcher of choice after the fact, please leave a rating and review. We have a couple guests that are queued up for the future. So that is coming. And like I said, we'll have to get Jordan on the show.
That'd be fun.
For now, that's all we got. I'm going to go ahead and end it.